Good evening, folks. Can the stream start a little bit earlier than usual tonight? Doing another relaxed night of trolling out here on the Seversky River and just giving an update on the current infrequency of streams I've had this week that will probably continue for a little bit of time due to some veterinary issues with one of the cats I'll get into a little bit later in the stream. But I hope everybody's weekend is off to a good start and keeping cool. It's been a hot July out here for sure. And we'll go ahead, we're going to head up to the top of the river here and then drift our way down. But since it is daytime right now and not quite night, let's go ahead and get some lines in the water, see if we can't catch some fish while we're on our way up there. These line clips to 18 meter. And if anyone's having an issue with my audio, let me know. Going for back out to Belaya, your premium spot there, Kiko. Is my audio coming through? All right, I had a Windows update. You know, sometimes whenever I get a Windows update, there's like a 50-50 chance that it completely ruins my audio settings. I'm gonna get these in the water and have some pickle action. Here we go. Yeah, again, we're just going to go ahead and troll up to the top of the river here, and it'll be nighttime, so I'll probably just do some float fishing or something in this area until the sun comes back up, and then we'll just drift on down. And tonight's tea is an apple-flavored Akbar tea, if I can get this to focus on the camera here. Well, I guess it's a green apple, so I can't quite show you the green apple in the image due to green screen chroma key, but those Akbar fruit teas never fail to disappoint. Some heavy reverb on. Okay, I'll once we get up to the top of the river and it calms down anyways, I'll go ahead and bring up my audio mixer, see if I can identify what might be causing that. Yeah, that's I don't know what it is about Windows updates, but every single time they like to do something to sound settings with an update. And I first noticed this one on Discord. Someone was saying that they could barely hear me, and I found that it completely reset all of my Discord audio settings. Alright, first fish of the night, just a little aft, nothing big. Got something on another line here. Looks like a chub. Yep, little tiny chub. Yeah, it likes to do that sometimes as well. It'll switch my default device to my headset rather than my actual stand mic, so that could be the issue as well. The placebo effect. Yeah, it's I'm sure it's some setting. Surprisingly, it doesn't seem to have reset the camera this time. I know last time it completely reset my camera tilt and everything, which was a pain in the butt to fix. But yeah, so as far as the streaming and frequency this week, I've got one of the cats that has shown up on stream regularly, Alicia, the black and white tuxedo cat, has been having kidney issues, and she was hospitalized at the vet for Monday through Thursday and came back last night, and she's doing okay, but not great. I think this her kidneys may have unfortunately failed completely, so don't know how much time she's got left. I'm just keeping her comfy and happy as I can right now, but keep an eye on her. My streams while all that's going on will continue to be a little bit infrequent. Yeah, there's a decent eyed for the night. Yeah, I appreciate the eco. She's a 14 years old. She's an old cat. Hey gamer, how you doing tonight? I was just showing my the cat that's shown up on stream a couple times. Alicia is having some pretty serious kidney issues, so been keeping her comfy, and hopefully it'll turn around. She was hospitalized Monday through Thursday and had fluid treatments and everything. She got a bunch of medication, so maybe it'll turn around and we can stabilize her for a while to go. But it's the way she's been acting today. It's seems like her kidneys may just be kaput, unfortunately. But she's an old cat. She's been a good girl, 14 years old, so I'm going to do my best to keep her happy. But that's why the streams have been a little bit infrequent this week, and we'll continue probably for at least the coming days or week or so. But appreciate it, gamer, nonetheless. All right, so just about to the top of the river here, so I can go ahead and play with my audio settings to make sure everything's working correctly once I get up there. Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing with it's a very this is actually the third cat I've had with kidney problems. It's very common in felines for a multitude of reasons. One of the big ones is that cat food manufacturers really load up cat food with things that make it more palatable to cats, but tends to keep them dehydrated quite a bit. So just an unfortunate thing where that, plus just being naturally sort of inclined to get kidney issues, just that and diabetes are both very common in cats. I've had to deal with those many times over the years, but I am hopeful. There has been some work that's been being done in a few areas in that regard, as far as stem cell research, where they're trying to find it. Because the problem with this kidney disease is that the kidneys don't naturally heal themselves, so they just slowly deteriorate with years. But some stem cell research is showing some promising results of being able to take some stem cells from the cat's body fat and use that to help regenerate damaged tissue on the kidney. So I'm hopeful that in the coming years, maybe feline kidney disease will be something of the past. But unfortunately, right now, that's just it's the statistic is like it's 1 in 3 cats get renal problems, whether it's chronic kidney disease or just kidney failure. So tis what it is, unfortunately. But to lighten the mood, saw anybody see the new Mission Impossible? Yeah, I appreciate that, gamer. I'm definitely hoping she gets better. I mean, it's sometimes I've had a cat go in that had really bad kidney problems, and after some fluid transmission, they were able to recover and live several more years. So it's possible. I'm hopeful that that's the case, but definitely just preparing for the worst just in case. So hopefully it won't come to that. As far as the Mission Impossible, apparently Tom Cruise was at a screening at a theater near me to promote the show earlier this week, which was interesting. I'm surprised he picked this area to promote it rather than like Los Angeles, but still neat. All right, what do we have on here? Looks like a big eyed, maybe? Yeah, it's only a kilo. That's okay. That's on the light tackle rod. That's why that was putting up such a fight. Still not bad. So what reel did you get there, gamer? Now that we're up to the top of the river here, I'm gonna go ahead and get this turned around. So we can prepare to drift, but before we actually start drifting, I'm just going to double check my audio settings real quick. Gamers, my audio coming through a bit reverby for you. I've had Hiko mention those hours, but I had a Windows update, and sometimes my audio settings get all out of whack after it. It's come through fine. So maybe just been pointing out that it may be an issue. Maybe Hiko just started putting something together for it. The Tonger 30, is that I'm assuming that's a marine reel for out there in Norway. It's Balaya. It's just now that you're at Balaya and I'm not, it's just haunting you. And so the reverb is just the echoes of my ghost out there at Balaya. Pickle action here. And go ahead and lift the anchor up and slowly start the drifting, but it is nighttime, so not expecting a whole lot right now. Getting have you unlocked the medium boat rod yet, or still working towards that? Very nice, very nice. I mean, all you really need is a telescopic, though. I mean, just toss it out there, pull those sharks up, be fine, right? Yeah, I figure probably will not be doing any streams this weekend. Just gonna be keeping Alicia comfortable right now. She's resting. She's got a one of her beds is in a bit of a secluded spot, so it gives her reprieve from the other cat messing with her or anything. So I'm sort of just letting her rest tonight. But next week, when I do get back to doing some streaming, I might go ahead and try Sura River for the first time. If anybody's got any suggestions for tackle and whatnot that I should make sure I've got before I go to Sura, definitely let me know, and I will prepare accordingly. I might recast that line because it's kind of clobbed across the boat here. Careful with the net calls, you guys. You mentioned that was it's got some catfish out there that'll go after those, right? Jeez, how far out did this thing cast? It had an 18-meter clip on there. It felt like it was reeling in forever. All right, we're still relatively centered on the river. That's where I need to just like pick a spot that's really good for night fishing to start streams, since it's always nighttime when I hop on. Yeah, I assume my two main feeder rods should be fine, and the Titan should be okay out there. The biggest thing is I don't know if it's a pop up and boily type of place or if it's more of like a potato cabbage type of deal. But as long as it's got a tackle shop that's not higher prices than MSRP, should be all right. Maybe tonight we'll finally be able to fill a cafe order out here on Seversky. They have still eluded us, but at least I was finally able to make over 100 silver from a trip to Balaya. Barely, but I made it. Got some good trophy bream out there. All right, all right. At some point, I'll probably have to go back to Volkov and get some good silver too. It's been kind of scraping by since we've just been doing some nice, relaxed, for fun streams lately that aren't the most profitable. Everything's been averaging like 50 to 70 silver per hour, which is not great. So at some point, I probably need to go out to Volkov for a couple streams, get some more silver racked up. So you still doing some ESO on top of RF4, or are you taking a break from it, Eco? Good old nighttime, the bane of drifting. Okay, so he's probably waiting for the next event type of deal. Makes sense. I've considered whether or not I want to do some Monster Hunter streams, but the problem with it is that I wouldn't be able to do a whole lot of engagement with chat for Monster Hunter. Like when I'm at the hub between quests, I could. I feel like I keep seeing this line move. I'm gonna check it real quick here. No fish on. Weird. Um, but during the actual quest, my focus has to stay on the fight so heavily that I just don't know. Like I'm sure it'd be fun for viewers to watch, but it'd be difficult to engage during those fights. Might try it someday though. At some point, I need to check out that Barents Sea fishing game that I got while the Steam Summer Sale was going on. Which I'm still. This was a very disappointing Steam Summer Sale, and I also felt like it is shorter. I feel like they used to be 2 or 3 weeks, but it seemed to have only been 1 week this year, and just was very underwhelming on what they had on sale and how much they were on sale for. I wonder what the deal with that was. I'm wondering if Steam is starting to see general revenue drops from things. Hey, Canadian, just doing some drifting on Seversky, waiting for the sun to come up so fish will start biting. Which may, since we're getting near this spot, I just drop the anchor and just wait it out for the maybe just do some manual cast while the wait for the sun to come up. Where are you fishing today? Saw you had the you posted that video up from Volkov. Pretty cool. And for those that missed it earlier, tonight's tea is an Akbar green apple tea, which show part of the packet here, but being green apple, the chroma key is going to knock out half the package. But delicious little fruit-based tea. And yeah, just to catch you up on the discussion earlier, Canadian, my stream frequency was very low this week, and will definitely be that way through this weekend and probably through next week due to some veterinary issues with the tuxedo cat that showed up on stream a couple times. Alicia, she's just having some kidney problems, so keeping an eye on that. She was hospitalized for most of this week, and she's back home now, but just trying to figure out if her kidney's going to be okay or not. But so as a result, my streaming and frequency right now is a little bit spotty as I work to just make sure she's comfortable at home. Appreciate it. She's resting right now, but while she's getting through that or whatever may come, I'm going to try to, it'll probably be every 3 days or so. I'll try to at least hop on for some normal streams, but definitely want to stay around to just focus on keeping her comfortable right now. Yeah, I really need to pick places to have good nighttime fishing to start these streams since it's always night. Let's see. I guess I can try spinning this through that algae, see if anything hits. Yeah, so I noticed the on the map stuff, Sur is supposed to be pretty good for bottom fishing, so that's going to be probably my plan for next week is to start looking into Sura fishing. Okay. So, are there any particular baits or anything I should plan for when I go out there to Sura? Yeah, I've got the two Fortuna feeders and the FT420, so they're not going to work for like the catfish out there, but they should be able to. It'll be a fight, but they should be okay. And I've got obviously the Alpha and the HSV, and then for my third reel, I can try using the Palmer and the Titan, but that's pretty lightweight, so I may just try to do some like telescopic or something for the third line out there, see if I can get some bleak or something. Are you kidding me? Oh. Alright, we'll give this a couple tries, and if I can't get this snag cleared, we'll just teleport, do a little relog action, and head back up here. Stupid snags. No. All right, well, going to relog and I guess pilot the boat back up to the spot. Will do, gamer, will do. I don't have any reels on them right now, but because I'm using the reels from my from those on my second spinning rods, but I'll pull them out here. There we go. All right, so on the Fortunas, we've got goes up to 19 kilo capacity, and I mean, right now I've just got some random bottom rigs on there with some of your braided line. The fishing line that I would have on there would be HSV with some 15 kilo hybrid black line, which I could probably replace for that if needed, and then the Alpha with 13 kilo, both of them 350 meter. Sun's starting to come up too. I'm gonna, I guess I'm wanting to zip the boat up to the 7.3 meter hole, and then we'll start drifting from there. Get 19 kilo braided cloth of those. Okay, yeah, I can do that. And I need to get some more hooks. I don't know what happened to my. I used to have 3 size 1 Berserk Rage hooks, and 2 of them have been lost to time. I'm not really sure what happened to them. Or should I go for, if I'm going to Sura, is size 1 hook still the way to go, or should I start upsizing for it? Like 1/0 or 2/0 or something. Size 1? Okay, so I can do that. Is it going to be a pop-up and boilie type of place, or just good old grocery fish and diced potatoes and whatnot? I see Canadians out there catching some burbot. Night crawlers on the 6 meter. Alrighty. I'll pick up some more night crawlers for it as well when I do go out there. Down here, pretty much to the bend, and then we'll turn around and get the lines in the water. Go. We're gonna get this sucker turned around. Yeah, if anybody sees the new Mission Impossible this week, you can definitely let me know how you liked it. I plan on seeing it sometime in the near future with the veterinary issues. I don't know when I'll be seeing it. Soon, hopefully. Alright, so we'll just try a few random spinner baits. My usual strategy for out here. A couple spikers and a hornet. Now we wait. See if we can get some good situal or something while we're out here today. Then I think, is it next weekend or the weekend after next that Barbie and Oppenheimer come out? Definitely plan on going to the theater for that. And then I think the new Dune is in November, so that'll probably be. I don't know if there's anything interesting coming out between those two. Oh, have a fun vacation when you go out, gamer. Try to stay cool when all this crazy heat waves that's going on all across the world right now. You the coffee man, gamer? So you going to a beach or something, or other type of vacation going on? Fire again, man. What is it? Oh, going to Mexico. Very nice. Have some fun down there. Get some good churros. So, was the new fires? Are they natural causes, or did they find some arsonists again? Like I know you mentioned that there were like 10 fires that they found were due to arson earlier this year, which is just insane. Oh, it was just reigniting the old fires. Okay, I thought you were saying it was like all new fires. Yeah, if it's definitely makes sense for reigniting the old ones. What do we got here? A decent little Volgazander. Too bad. Hopefully soon we'll get some sort of Arctic snap or something to come through and cool things off and bring some rain up there. The winds must have shifted directions though, because we haven't had as much or any really smoke blown down here since that initial batch. So I guess the direction that it's all being taken is altered. That was bad. That when they first roared up earlier this summer. Oh, wake up, fish! Sun's out. I think we got something on that line. It's gone limp. What do we have here? Little tiny clupanella. Another pickle. See, what you guys need to do up there, Canadian, is just head up further north where all that permafrost is and just start dragging all that down there and cover the fires with some snow before it melts. Sounds like there is a thunderstorm brewing outside here right now. Every now and then I like to hop on Google Earth and take a look at some of those northern provinces and like all the way up to the very northern tips where you find like one road going through up there to like some little tiny area with like 10 buildings. Then you'll go like another 100 miles, there'll be another one. Wonder what life is like out in those rural areas up there. I've I've lived rural in the past, but not that rural. I was at least within like 25 miles of something. Yeah, the Northwest Territory. So is it like, are those like logging camps or scientific? I guess that's probably actually north of the timberline, probably, isn't it? They're doing like scientific studies up there or something. I can't imagine what you do up there as a town, what your commerce is. Logging. Okay, yeah, I didn't know. I know at some point there's parts of Canada that are north of the timberline. I guess probably pretty close to the tip though, I imagine. Living off the land. So how much like what kind of food can they grow that far north? I imagine like there's not a lot of months in the year that it's warm enough for them to grow a lot of crops of various types. I'm sure they got plenty of meat from hunting and everything though. Whew, it's pricey. Do they offer like incentives? I know I don't know if they still do, but for a long time, Alaska offered huge incentives to for people to move there, to where like you could pretty much move there for free. They pay for your house and everything. I've not seen Life Below Zero. I haven't. Is it a documentary, some sort? I assume. Fish are waking up now. Ooh, looks like a big asp here. Yeah, 1 kilo asp. Yeah, this stretch here and this stretch here always seem to be most active when I drift through here. Okay, we should have to look that up sometime. And so that's neat that they do still offer it. Makes sense. I mean, they got to have people up there to generate commerce. So Best way to do it is to offer some sort of things. I know that's here in Georgia, what really sparked things here. We've had huge growth here in the last 10 years because a while back, I think it was in 2000, I want to say 2008 or 2009, we introduced a huge tax incentive for filmmaking in Georgia, which is why like most filming in America has moved from Hollywood to Atlanta. But as a result, that brought in a lot of attention to the city. So like while we aren't actually offering any sort of incentives to people moving here, just making that tax incentive for the film industry has brought a lot of population to the area, for better or worse. I'd say mostly for the worse, only because we refuse to do anything about the as far as public transportation or expanding our roads. We just have, and we have too many people for our roads at this point. There's a little first Pontic shad of the night. Now let's get someplace one of the few states I have not been to. Definitely want to go someday. That's Alaska's like those Northwest Territories. We're talking about the expensive bread and chips and stuff like that. From what I understand, Alaska is in this exact same boat. Everything's just crazy expensive there. So yeah, if you visit Georgia, I recommend someplace like, there's the first sunfish of the night. Like we've got several great beach towns. We've got Savannah, we've got St. Simon's Island, places like that. Atlanta itself, we have hands down we got something fighting this line. We've got hands down the best airport in America, if not the world. Like it is an incredible airport and is an experience in itself. But as far as the city of Atlanta and visiting as for tourism, like we've got the World of Coke, which is meh. Our aquarium is all right. That's really it. There's just Atlanta itself has nothing. But if you go around like Georgia coast or even some places in the North Georgia mountains and stuff like that, there's some nice places to visit. I think Savannah is actually now considered one of the top 3 tourist destinations in the country. It's kind of the history there. Savannah is really the last old town we have left in Georgia because we've had several unfortunate burnings in this state that have took out most of the cities in the 1800s and early 1900s. There's a lot of cities named Georgia, but yeah, the Atlanta is our capital city, and it's our population center, and it's a great airport, and that's all it's got to offer. And then you've also got the country of Georgia over there in Eastern Europe, which I really don't know a whole lot about, but I mean, a lot of places in Eastern Europe have always seemed like when they're in peacetime, seem like interesting places to visit. A lot of neat architecture and stuff like that out there. Yeah, if Google's saying there's a city of Georgia in the state of Georgia, there may be one, some small little town somewhere, but I'm not aware of it if there is. There's an asp, but there's a lot of surrounding states have cities named Georgia. All right, let's get this back out to the middle of the water here. Doing pretty good on the ides and asps tonight, which is nice, since they are some of the more profitable fish to get drifting on here. Yeah, down there we've got a lot of nice spots along the coast, and What's also nice about them is that you go to one of them and you're usually within like 20, 25 miles of another nice one. So you can sort of make a week of just hopping through beach towns, which is pretty cool. Ooh, that's a nice size shad right there. Looks like there we go, little half kilo chip. Yeah, it's a huge state too. Like it takes like if you drive from the northern tip of Georgia to the southern tip, I think it's like a 6 or 7 hour drive. It's a deceptively big state, but yeah, it's not too bad. There's still a lot of rural areas in Georgia, which is nice. Like when I go, if I'm driving down to the coast, I'll take all the old state roads instead of the interstate, and it's wonderful. It's scenic. There's no one else on the road, so I can just cruise along and not have to deal with anything. There's a few like railroad crossings, and that's about it. Come across like a few little tiny towns, but it's a very growing state for sure. Got a lot to offer. It's very very interesting climate though. We're parts of our state are considered subtropic, which is just crazy. Like you can grow bananas and stuff here, which is insane to me. Yeah, the healthcare situation is I hope that we see some sort of better, whether it's universal or better odds. The biggest challenge is that like we've always had elective healthcare, but you used to have a lot more options. But as part of the Affordable Care Act that came out, it actually limited the number of insurance companies that could offer healthcare in a state, which ended up like creating basically like pseudo monopolies on the pricing, which is unfortunate. But what you can always do is get yourself a nice little summer home in the States or something. There's actually a big thing nowadays is actually long-term rentals. I've got a couple buddies that actually are in that business now, where it's basically like an Airbnb type of thing, but instead of like going for like a week, you rent out a place for like 3 months. So you go live in different cities like New Orleans or places like that for a few months and just get to experience the area for about the cost it would be to actually like rent an apartment there, but without having to actually sign on to a lease or anything like that. Yeah, I imagine especially like Florida because they've got all those like timeshare communities and stuff like that. I can see where a lot of the Canadians, because there's also the big thing with folks from New England, will do the same thing in Florida and parts of southern Mississippi, Alabama, stuff like that. We look at the timeshares to fly down there and live during the colder months. And there's a lot of neat places in the states to visit, but the ones I will never go back to is our tornado alley, like Arkansas and Oklahoma in particular. I've been through those states 3 times, and all 3 times I have seen a tornado. So I'm just like, why are people living here? This place is just it's nothing but tornadoes and corn. Busy. Actually, I do. I did sort of visit Canada, but it didn't really count because I was like 2, so I don't really recall anything from it. But I do plan on visiting at some point. I would do some like fishing and stuff like that. Go to some of the various little lakes and see a lot of the countryside, especially British Columbia. But every time I see stuff from British Columbia, I always want to just drive through there. So I definitely want to visit that way at some point. I'm much more of a, even though where I live now is basically a metro. Well, I should say 20 years ago, where I'm currently living was basically like farmland. It was the sticks, and now it's the Metro Atlanta has spread so far that it's basically considered Metro Atlanta. It's an Atlanta suburb at this point. But I definitely prefer rural life because I like peace and quiet. I like to be able to, especially for me, I like driving my car around. And when you get in situations where there's so many people on the road, you can't really have fun driving your car. I don't really want like sticking around there. Saskatchewan and Ontario. Okay, okay, yeah, I'll definitely something I plan to do at some point. I know before I was born, I used to get the stories from my dad. He used to make get some like chartered flights through Canada where they go in on some of those little small biplanes that and land actually like on the lakes out in the middle of the woods and fish out there. Always sounded really cool. For me, I'm definitely more into mountains and countryside than cities and beaches. Especially like, yeah, you live in the mountains, very nice. Yeah, I lived in when I was younger, I actually lived in the Sierra Nevadas up in California, way up in the mountains. Loved it up there. Another decent sized shad, it looks like. Yeah, over 100 grams. The drifting's a little bit slow tonight. Got 21 fish though. Not the worst. But I used to, yeah, when I lived in California, what was really nice about that state, I know, I mean, nowadays, so much of it has grown up with like just suburbs and cities have enlarged so much. I don't know how different it is now. Like I went out there, I was in San Jose a few years ago, but otherwise haven't really been back to California since the 90s. But in the 90s, it was incredible because you have pretty much any destination type you would want. You're within like 3 hours. You want to go to a nice city, 3 hours away. You want to go to night to see the desert, 3 hours away. You want to go to some snowy mountains, 3 hours. Beach, 3 hours. It was awesome. Like you were so centralized to all those different types of destinations. Go down to LA and Malibu. The coast, driving down the coast is definitely a nice thing to drive. If you go all the way from like Washington all the way down, it's really cool. Funny story about when I was living in California. I believe it's been mostly fixed since then. But in the 90s, the ad valorem tax on vehicles was so astronomically high in California that you drive around the city and see all these like really expensive cars with expired license plate tags. And the reason is because of the ad valorem tax. It was cheaper. Hey, there's a spin fishing game. All right. It was actually cheaper to just pay the occasional ticket you would get for an expired tag than to pay for the than to pay to get the tag renewed because of that ad valorem tax. I always found that pretty entertaining. Just driving down, seeing all like the Mercedes and Lambos and stuff with expired tags. Like, all right, surely you can afford a renewal, but lo and behold. Is there something on this line? Yep. Okay. Must be something tiny on here. Not enough to bend the rod. No chub. All right. So where are we at right now? The bite rate's picking up. We are at down here on this little bend. Another decent shad. All right. Well, hopefully there'll be a good Ponic Shad cafe order that we can fill. Now, some popular tourist destinations in the southeast that if you that I don't highly recommend. Let's see, Nashville I think is pretty overrated. I know a lot of people love Nashville. To me, it's like a not as good New Orleans. It's got the country music scene going for it and everything, but not a huge fan of Nashville. I think for what it is, it's overrated. Um, a couple of the beaches in Florida. There's one in particular, Cocoa Beach. Yeah, that's I had that happen myself, Pico. You're gonna get a nice achievement for doing that. I think it's like called like scuba diving or something like that. That's the pro way to catch fish out there. Just jump in the river and grab them, or the lake, I guess it is. But Cocoa Beach in Florida, that is, in my opinion, a terrible beach because instead of sand, like it's all made up of crushed shells and stuff like that. So you end up just tearing your feet up walking along that beach. It's miserable. So Tennessee as a whole, I think there's a lot of cool places in Tennessee, like Pigeon Forge, Gallatin, even Chattanooga. Nashville in particular, I think is like it's not bad. I just think what you can experience in Nashville, you can experience better going to New Orleans. Yeah, Virginia's a beautiful place, and especially like I really like. I've got some friends that live up there in Roanoke, Virginia, that I visit now and then, and that's an awesome little town. They have this lot of nice little places to eat. They've got a pinball museum, really cool place. Let's see. So then Alabama. So yeah, the coastal Alabama is really cool. Now, like middle Alabama, I don't think there's a whole lot going on. It's kind of just a very rural, like rural in the not a lot to see kind of way. But yeah, coastal Alabama is really neat, getting down there towards the Panhandle and stuff. Very neat place. Um, yeah, Louisiana's got some really cool stuff. The whole state of Virginia is just it's gorgeous. Um, yeah, South Carolina coastline is really neat. North Carolina's got some really nice mountains. Uh, yeah, Louisiana, New Orleans especially, like it's always. I think everyone should visit New Orleans at least once. It's just such a neat city with so much history to it. But even like just along the coast, or you get out to the bayou, lots of cool things to see in Louisiana. Then if you get out towards like Utah, Colorado, places like that, you have some really neat natural parks like the canyons out there, the Garden of the Gods. I can't remember if that's in Utah or Colorado, but it's really cool. And Arizona is interesting. A lot of people really love living there, and I mean, to each their own. I feel like I'd get bored in living in Arizona, though. It's very flat with not a whole lot of scenic change, other than like I guess the northwest or northeastern part of the state. I think has some heavy woods. Whoa, here we go. New Mexico, yeah, New Mexico is another one there. What's really neat in New Mexico, they have a lot of the tribal territories out there, and there's some neat things to see in those areas. A lot of little culture centers and things like that where you can learn about their various customs and the way they craft things of that nature. A lot of cool stuff to see in that regard. All right, I'm guessing since this was such a heavy fight at the beginning, this is possibly an ass spawn here. I may have to actually fight this fish. No, okay, it's coming in now. Oop, turned around on me. I'm gonna switch to the trolling motor on just in case we need to chase this one. The downside of so I've been experimenting using this lightweight setup out here just to see if it's got a better bite rate. But I'm not sure, like it doesn't seem to have a noticeably better bite rate. And when you get caught on something like this is probably only like a 1.3 kilo fish or something like that. I don't know if it's worth it to just to go for the light setup over a heavy one. So Pennsylvania, I actually don't have a lot of experience in. I've been like through the state at some point, but I'm really not sure. Like I think it's got some. I think there's some Amish country up there that's supposed to be really good. Philadelphia is hit or miss. I guess there's some parts of Philly that you want to avoid. Some parts of it are pretty nice. But other than that, I really don't know too much about Pennsylvania. Ooh, there we go. Nice Volgazander there. I mean, the XP is nice from having the lightweight tackle, but just I don't think it offers that big of a difference on bite rate. Yeah, New England is one area that most of my experience with New England is from when I was too young to remember most of it. There are lots, but like Maine is gorgeous. Manhattan, I think, is definitely similar to New Orleans. It's a place that everyone should try and visit at some point in their life. It's a really neat little city to go through. Let's get this boat turned around so it's drifting a little bit better. Two states that are must see. So you've been to California already. That would have been my number one there. But otherwise, I would say Florida and maybe Colorado. Well, I mean, you live in the mountains, so Colorado probably wouldn't be as big of a must visit for there. Colorado's got gorgeous mountain scenery, but the Canadian section of the mountains are gorgeous as well, so it's probably not as different. So I'd say probably Florida and New York. You get two very, very different dichotomies of the United States that way. With Florida, you've got all the really nice beaches. You've got some nice like swampy areas. You've got Orlando, all the different theme parks and stuff. Then New York, you've got just the history and everything there, plus Manhattan's really, really cool to visit. Yeah, Colorado is gorgeous, but just I mean, it's mountains. Texas, I think there's some cool things in Texas, but I mean, it's also like I haven't been to Texas since the late '90s, so I know it's changed a lot. It may, I guess Austin and a couple other. Mainly Austin, I think, is supposed to be really popular to visit in Texas now. Yeah, no problem, Canadian. Always happy to chat about places and things to do and see. Yep, we got a ad break coming up in about 15 seconds here, so that'll be playing just to prevent pre-roll ads, but we'll be continuing our drifting through that. We're going to try to make it all the way to the bottom of the river here and see what we get. Yeah, New York is also when it like Manhattan's really cool, but also going up to upstate New York where they have a lot of the more rural areas and stuff is really neat to see. California would absolutely be my number one pick if you hadn't already been through it. But yeah, Florida's got a lot to offer. And I think that's why I would say those two, because they just have so many different things that you can spend a week in each state and be able to experience a lot of different stuff, where other states have like enough to be really cool for a couple days, but that's about it. Well, you can sum it up in regions, really. Like if you go like most of the middle of our country, there's not a big difference from state to state. Like Illinois, Idaho, Iowa, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri. For all intents and purposes, those are the same state. Kansas. Yeah, so Maine is a. I'm fighting the flight reel again. So Maine is a really gorgeous place. Really cool coastline. A lot of really fresh seafood and stuff. And then they have some pretty deep woods and stuff out there as well. But you do need to go during the right time of the year. Like during the peak of summer, they get really bad midge flies in Maine, which will eat you alive if you get caught up in those. But yeah, that's a really nice one too. But from what I've seen of like Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, Maine is very similar to those. So if you spend a lot of time in Nova Scotia or Newfoundland, you probably won't get much of a different experience in Maine, I would imagine. We're going to have to pull out the old trolling motor again. Getting some big fighters out here tonight. Which Newfoundland is some interesting stuff. But I like there's that musical "Come From Away" that was based on that little town in Newfoundland where all the planes had to land for like a week after 9/11, which is pretty interesting to read up on all that. Because you've been to a lot of the western states. Yep, that's all those are definitely cool to see as well. Nevada, obviously, you get Las Vegas and Reno, which are their own fun experiences. All right, just about on top of whatever this fish is. Yeah, so and that's the thing, like there's such a huge difference between the western and eastern states. It's crazy, but yeah, lots of places to visit. But I would definitely say, slam this sucker right into the boat. I'm gonna have to like, this is gonna be interesting. I may have goofed. But yeah, I definitely say New York and Florida would be the top two picks if you had to pick two states. Let's try to get this up here now. Looks like actually a pretty decent sized fish. Oh yeah. 1.5 kilo asp. All right. Definitely getting a lot more aspen-eyed than I usually get out here tonight, which is very good. Yeah, Montana is awesome. I recently had looked, like recently I should say in the past few years, looked into moving to Montana, but unfortunately Montana and Wyoming have started getting a similar situation to what happened to Colorado, where a lot of really wealthy people realized how beautiful the state was and just keep buying up all the land. So now it's like, it's hard to find affordable land to move to out there. But yeah, those are gorgeous states. Yeah, you'll definitely plenty of different things to see. If you're into city attractions, like Manhattan is definitely amazing. You know, get to see some Broadway and theater shows out there. Lots and lots of really good food. Just walk around the entire city. It's really nice. Like I'm not even much of a city guy, and I like Manhattan. All right, so we line back up. Yeah, back on down the river here. And for Florida, I would obviously, like if you go to Orlando, you've got all the theme parks, plenty of fun to be had there. But some of the really nice beaches, you've got Naples is one of the underrated beaches down there. If you're into like Cuban and Puerto Rican stuff, Tampa is a really neat place to visit. You get the look turned around. Oh, appreciate the bits. Get them that fancy cheer music going. Appreciate it. Get the big fish awake with all the cheers. Anytime, Canadian. And I have to say, if you're planning a trip down here, at least try to get a layover at the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Airport. Like it's crazy to say because like I mean airports for the most part are nothing special, but the Atlanta airport is basically a city in itself. The thing is multiple square miles big, and it's got just like dozens and dozens of different restaurants, shopping. It's got really cool little corridors with some artwork from around the world, stuff like that. It's a really fun airport to just walk around in, and amazing lounges. If you get access to the Delta Sky Club, or later this year, it's actually getting it's finally getting a Centurion Lounge, and it's going to be the largest Centurion Lounge in the world. I think it's 27,000 square feet. Just pretty cool. The book of many things, we'll call it. Yeah, definitely. If you can arrange your trip in a way to get a layover, and like I said, basically just a layover because the city itself is boring. Atlanta is a terrible city. All it is it used to be a little bit better, but like really because it used to be a business city. There was a quote. I don't remember who said it. It was in like the 1950s where they were talking about what different cities were known for. Like there's sunfish there. Like Detroit was known for its automotive industry, and Milwaukee was known for furniture. Atlanta used to be known for its office buildings. So it's just office building after office building. But unfortunately, most of those office buildings are gone because most of the businesses that they supported are now things that are either automated or they're offshored. So everything's kind of been replaced with just apartments and condos. So that's really all Atlanta is now. It's just wall to wall places to live, not places to do things. And because it doesn't have a reliable, like it's got a transit system, but it's kind of terrible. So you pretty much have to drive everywhere you go, even if you live downtown. So on top of having nothing to do, it's just a traffic nightmare as well. But we have a great airport. Yeah, Virginia is another one it's very mountainous though. So like if you weren't already living in the mountains, I would have said Virginia as one of the options, but for the same reasons as Colorado. It's most of the beauty there is the mountains. I mean, it's got some neat little historic beaches and stuff like that, but and some stuff near Washington D.C. I suppose. But it's best out in the center of the state where it's all mountainous. No sunfish. Surprised the sunfish are actually biting during the night today. Usually it's a lot more dead at nighttime. Better head back to the center of the river here. Go. I feel like from pictures and videos I've seen of Vancouver, I think Atlanta and Vancouver are probably very similar. And Vancouver's kind of in the same boat where a lot of Hollywood moved its work to Vancouver. I know that's where most TV shows these days are filmed. And just from the pictures of it, it seems like it's a similar boat where it's just a lot of places to live, but not a lot of things to do. Someday I would like once it's a little more stable and not in the midst of conflicts. I'd love to actually visit Russia someday. There's been a lot of the countryside there has always looked neat to me. And even Moscow is like some of the architecture there and stuff I think is really cool. Secretly, I just want to go over there and see all the YouTube videos of the people there that have like pet pumas and stuff like that. I secretly just want to go and pet those. Maybe feed a random polar bear that's walking by. Touching the bottom. Okay, what's going on with my spinnerbait here? That's the one downside of America, and I guess really for that matter, Canada is kind of in the same boat. Like both countries don't have as much like historic architecture and things of that sort compared to Europe or even like Central and South America, even though they're not as pronounced as European architecture from the old times. Like there's a lot of the old native civilizations, like the Aztec areas and stuff like that, where you can see some cool historic ruins. But our countries are too young to have any of that. Got a perch on here. Oh yeah, I think is and I know Cambodia's got a lot of nice temples. I think that's where isn't Angkor Wat there, or is that? Yeah, I think that's Cambodia. Really, really cool architecture from that stuff. Same with like a lot of the Middle Asia, like India and stuff like that. They've got some really neat old buildings and temples and stuff like that. I gotta get on to Bear Lake in this in-game chat again. Guy named Bear Lake, but he's out there catching lake trout. Hold on now. Getting up to the last little stretch here. We're up to almost half a keep net. Probably not going to be a great yield, but hopefully we can probably pull a 75 silver out of it or something like that. Lake trout at Penalty Pond? Interesting. Interesting. So maybe he's on Bear Lake after all. But I doubt it. I think he's just lying to us with that name. Let's see, what's our biggest fish so far tonight? Oh, that's a little pike there. So this eye will probably be worth a decent bit, and these two asp will probably be worth about 10, 11 silver each. So yeah, I figure we should be able to make about 75, 80 silver tonight. I'm gonna, once we get to the end of the river, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it back up to the docks and see what we got. All right, got something running with this line again. Yeah, I'm still not convinced that the, other than the little bit of extra XP, I think it's probably better to just have 3 heavy reels out here to just not have any fight, because in the time it takes to catch one of these 1.5 kilo fish on this reel, could probably have already caught 2 or 3 other fish. Hey, Alicia, you feeling better, girl? Got Alicia coming up on the desk to visit. That's good to see. She's been mostly just laying in her bed all day, so she got a little bit of energy in her now. I'm fishing blind. I've got a cat in front of the monitor here, so if anybody saw what jumped out of the water, let me know. I don't know what species out here would be jumping out of the water like that. Little pike? Ah, bleak. Yes, we have found the blue tag bleak. I don't know. That could be dangerous, Hiko. I don't think this boat could handle it. As soon as we get him in, we'll just sink. I'll have to just cut the line. All right, he's almost in the boat now. He'll try to put up a fight, though. See if I can top water him, wear him out a little bit here. Saying it's a chub. Could be, could be. I think, no, we haven't quite hit the shoreline yet. We're close. Boy, this is a pumpkin sea. It's a heck of a sunfish. See a fin. Little pike, maybe? Yeah, I think it's a pike. Well, it looked a little bit more round than a pike. Come on in here, fish. It's a blue fin of some sort. Oh, yep. It's a chub. That's a nice chub, 3 kilo. You know, it's a weird natural evolution to have bright blue top fins and bright red under fins when it's not a tropical fish. Weird. That's not too shabby, though. That's going to help our silver intake for the night for sure. A little Volgazander. All right. Back in drifting here. Surprisingly, like normally we get a lot of tiny sunfish, but they've actually been one of the more rare fish we've caught tonight. Very interesting. Whatever is the temperature, because it's only 10 degrees out here today. I think usually this is one of the warmer bodies of water, so might have something to do with it. I love willow trees. The ones we have down here in the southeast are a lot different looking than this, though. Like ours don't have pronounced thick branches like that. It's a lot of like really thin branches that come down. Oh, pickle and tea. Okay, all right. I can do that. Let me drop anchor here. We finally got that one redeemed. Oh boy. Okay, drop the anchor here. Well, got a fish on this line, but it'll be fine. All right, so I'm going to have to step away for a moment while I go and grab a pickle. So I'm going to switch it to the intermission screen while I do that, and I will be back in just a moment. All right, so we've got a big cash in on the old credits for the channel points here for pickles and tea, which are the breakfast of champion, or not breakfast, the meal of champions in Russian Fishing 4. So we'll do a little pickles and tea end game real quick here. And we've got a little cocktail pickle here. Get it on, in focus on the camera. And the Akbar apple hot tea, and dipping it in the tea. I can do it'll be a little bit of a appley pickle goodness. Okay, let me see if I can get that to show up on camera without making a huge mess here. All right, here we go. Let's bring it up in view, dipping the pickle in the tea. All right, here we go. Good crunch to it. Plenty of vinegar. It's got a hint of apple undertones from the tea. Not too shabby, not too shabby. And that was how you snack like a true Russian fisherman. Delicious. Thank you for the channel point expenditures and keeping up with the chat, Canadian. Got that aftertaste of apple pickle goodness. It's interesting. It's not bad. And I think I had a fish get away possibly during this. That's all right. For a good cause. Speaking of mixed flavor, have any of you ever had the Request penalty pond. I have to watch the video about that as well. Look, I saw the video you sent in chat, so I'll have to bookmark that and take a look at it. This is, where am I facing? The wrong way. So there's a couple hybridized fruits that I've had in the past. One was like a it's an apple like tinted banana, which is really weird, but if you ever see one in your local store, give it a try. Speaking of apples, has anyone here had the Cosmic Crisp apples? They're out of I believe Yakima, Washington. They've recently become my favorite breed of apple. See, Bear Lake is out there catching more trout and roach. You should be catching carp. Yeah, Red Delicious is it's a classic. It's solid, but the Cosmic Crisp is I guess it's a designer breed that has only been around for a few years now, but it's a little tiny Bulbasander. It's like got a really good amount of sweet where it's not too sweet, but it's also not dull, but it's also got just the right amount of firmness in my opinion. I haven't seen a response yet. I'll have to check my spam email to make sure it never came in there. If not, I need to I'll reach out and send a fresh one to them. If they have made a response, they may have gone to my spam folder. My email is bad about that. Here we go. Another chub. 1.5 kilo. The chubs are pretty active out here today. Getting pretty close to the ferry line now. Got that pickly aftertaste. I do love a nice cold pickle. It's very refreshing. Boy, this the black with red spots spiker is doing really well out here on Seversky. You hate pickles, gamer? Have you had the have you ever had half sours? Where they're like not fully like fermented or anything. They're kind of mostly cucumber. Yeah, so dill is very strong because it's so I mean pickled, I guess you say, but from the vinegar and everything. Half sours are I don't really like them because I don't like cucumber, but they're much closer to cucumber with just like a little bit of a hint of pickled flavor to them. If you've never tried them and you like cucumber, you might consider giving them a try. Looks like you got something on line. No, that line is doing really well today. This is one of those new spinners I had purchased for Belaya. It's doing the work out here as well. Another sunfish. No big sunfish. I know the last time we were out here, we got a couple like 250-gram sunfish, which was pretty nice. There's another sunfish. Right up on the shoreline again. This bottom part of the lake seems really bad about drifting you towards the embankment. Got something on the line again, which I do still think that trolling gets a better bite rate out here than drifting does. I know that's the first couple of times I was out here, I was actually just trolling instead of drifting. And even when I occasionally just go to reposition the boat, it seems like as soon as I start trolling, I get stuff on the line right away. So my recommendation for those that are interested in going down the river on a boat here at Seversky, you're probably better off efficiency-wise trolling rather than drifting, but just looking for something to relax and sit on here for a while, drifting's perfectly fine. So I'm trying to think if there's been any other interesting news that's come out this week that's funny news, I should say. I think overall it's been a fairly slow comic news week. There's entertainment wise, if any of you have Stars, there is a show on there called Heels that they've got one season out, and then the second season starts later this month, and it's actually filmed about 20 miles away from where I live. It's a little drama show about a fictional independent pro wrestling promotion out of like rural Georgia, and sort of telling a story of two brothers that inherit that little promotion from their father, and dealing with that and the family strife and things of that nature. And they've got some actual like well-known pro wrestlers that do a lot of the actual in-ring work for the scenes where they want to have matches. It's pretty cool. I recommend it. Hopefully the second season will be as good as the first one. Just about to the end here. So we're at 55 fish, not too shabby. I remember the very first stream we drifted out here, the bite rate was just insane. I think we'd filled up the our first Shemai of the night. I think we filled the keep net in like less than an hour. Haven't had a bite rate that good since, but it's reliable at least. At least it's not like Volkov where it's either really active or it's dead. At least it's going to at least catch you some fish while you're going down it, even on an off day, which is something I really like. Seversky is getting closer and closer every day to replacing Old Berg as my favorite body of water. If I can just actually start filling cafe orders out here, it'll probably take its place. The only reason it hasn't yet is because it's still not been very profitable. Go ahead and start reeling the lines, and we're about to hit the end of the river here. 2 fish in 45 minutes. I mean, if they were both like 12-kilo Atlantic salmon, then that'd be fine. But yeah, that's the thing about Volkov. It's either dead or it's really good, and there just isn't a whole lot of in between. Well, at least the 9-kilo Ladoga should be worth, like, that's probably a 60-kilo fish on its own, honestly. But the pike, not so much. All right, I'm going to fast travel back to the town here, and let's see what we ended up getting for tonight. Fishing from here on a tail. Yeah, I'll definitely I tried a couple spots here and didn't have a whole lot of luck, but I'm definitely willing to give it another try. So I see the cafe orders first and foremost here. Which I think part of the problem I had was I think I need to re-examine my floats and everything for that kind of setup. Again, you know, if one day I can actually fill a cafe order here, it'd be great. It just still hasn't happened. All right, well, here's the keep net. Let's see. Let's get everybody's numbers in for how much they think it's going to be worth. I'm going to go with 89 silver. 203 from Canadian. $18 from Hiko. That's we're a little better than that. Come on now. 125 from Gamer. All right, here we go. Let's see what we've got. Final tally is 144. Not bad. Hiko with the 140. Oh man, you're supposed to just a second earlier. You would have had it. But let's see, what were our big prices on this one? We had, well, actually that Volga Xander was 23 silver. Not too shabby. The Chubb 15. A lot of good prices on some of those Chubbs. So we've got a couple decent Ponic Shads. Volga Xander seemed to be our chief money makers tonight, so that's good to see. I'm surprised that I was only worth 9 silver. Figured that would have been like 11 or 12, but nice to see a 15 silver Chubb. Yeah, we'll blame the delay, sure. Not too bad, 145 silver in about an hour and a half. It's not great, but it's relaxing. Get our usual end of the night bait scoop. Come on, give me all 3. Yeah, got all 3. All right. With that, we'll get ready to wrap things up here. As mentioned earlier, with the veterinary issues with Alicia, I just don't know what my stream schedule is going to look like for the near future. I'm going to try to at least not miss a stream if it's in 3 days, but you know, I want to try and spend as much time just keeping her comfy right now. So with all that going on, I'll stream where I can, and I'll keep everyone posted with that in each stream. But other than that, I hope everyone has a good weekend, has some good fishing. Thanks for coming along tonight, and I will catch everyone next time. Take it easy, folks.